Good afternoon, everyone. So when Jose invited me to talk here about what we are doing with Beacon, and especially in the field of energy, my biggest thought was how can I put everything of it in just 9 minutes. But thanks to everyone, many of us have already today talked about Beacon, how we are creating open networks. So that have made my job a bit easier. So I will quickly jump into how we are utilizing Beacon for energy. So just a quick yeah. So just a quick recap for people who have missed the earlier sessions, maybe or need a quick recap. Beacon is a economic resource discovery and transaction protocol. What do we mean by a protocol? A protocol is nothing but a common language that disparate platforms can talk in so that they are discoverable amongst themselves. And what are they enabling? They are basically enabling the order lifecycle of any goods and service. I mean, by order lifecycle, what do we mean? We mean DOFP, which is discovery, ordering, fulfillment, and post-fulfillment. Beacon can enable that DOFP for any resources that has economic value. You talk about a mobility option where you are taking probably a cab from point A to point B, or you are talking about a hospitality option where you are looking for 1 room night, 2 room nights, or maybe a healthcare service where you are looking for a doctor, or probably you are looking for a bed in the hospital, or for a particular looking for a specific medicine. All these things can be enabled by Beacon. So the spread that we are today seeing, and Sujit also showed you this slide earlier, that we have many mobility networks based on Beacon. A few of them are Kochi Open Mobility Network, Nama Yatri. We are also having the Yatri Sathi network in Kolkata. We also have ONDC, which is basically a network for e-commerce and retail transactions based on Beacon. We have UHI, Unified Health Interface, specifically for healthcare services. And one of the most interesting ones for me is the skill networks. We are launching the Open Bellum network today in Brazil, and we already have the Honest network running in Bangalore with a certain set of cohorts. So the last one that is left there is UEI. That is what I am going to talk today about, the one in energy. So first I thought that I will probably give you a academic explanation of what is UEI, how it works, and so on. But then I thought I will give you 2 or 3 use cases depending on how much time do I have. I will give you 2 exact use cases, and I hope you guys will be able to figure out what is the abstract, what are we trying to do here. So this is basically the current EV charging ecosystem that we have. I mean, it's happening all over Europe, US, India, everywhere, that all the CPOs, we have some 30 PSU CPOs in India, some 50 other private CPOs, all of them are trying to build their own application, their own siloed application, where to get your digital ordering done, you have to, at the end of the day, install that application. So what does it mean for the user? At the end of the day, if I'm taking a 300-kilometer ride, say on my EV vehicle, I end up installing some 10 or 12 applications just to make sure I am able to discover the right one on my way, or I am able to order from it. So if you are given a chance to kind of redesign this architecture from, I mean, I'm not saying that this is bad, this is already happening, we are having enough adoption, probably not the scale that we want, but if you are given a chance to kind of re-architect this, can we think of an alternative with Beacon protocol for EV charging ecosystem? So the one that you are seeing on the right side is one of the possible alternatives with Beacon or UEI. So we are saying that instead of monolithic platform applications, can we create a network of providers and consumer platforms who are willing to talk to each other, discover each other, order from each other, and so on. So you can see all the Jio, Shells, ChargeZone, Tata Power, Easy Charge, all the CPOs on one end of the network. On the other hand, you have the Pulse Energies, all the OEM applications like the Ather or Ola Electric. I'm sorry, these are Indian examples. And you can actually use your third-party applications as well. Think of it, you can figure out where the nearest EV charger is through your WhatsApp, because WhatsApp has location enablement and everything, and you can actually order it from there. So that is what Pulse Energy, a small firm from Bangalore, is trying to do. They are trying to enable ordering of EV charging stations or maybe slots or appointment through WhatsApp. So what does it mean for me as a user? For me as a user, I now don't have to use 10 or 12 applications. I am happy with the one that I need, maybe a WhatsApp, a PhonePe, or a Pulse Energy. Think about the seller, the service providers. he earlier was trying to get to the same set of user group, because if you see on the left hand side, there is a user group 1, user group 2, user group 3. These are not exclusive user groups. There are a lot of overlap. The same person is trying to get accurate through different channels. And the service providers are actually spending a lot of marketing dollars for the same customer multiple times. With this kind of arrangement, they not only can focus on their part, which is the service delivery, and somebody else can take care of the customer acquisition, it also removes the duplication from the network, which means you have better economics, you have more efficiency, overall the cost of energy is going to go down. So that's the first one. The second one is intermittency of renewable power sources. We all know that you can get solar power only when the sun is up, or you can get wind power only when the wind is blowing. But in most of the cases, in such scenarios, we have excess of production, not that much of demand at that point of time, and we have to figure out kind of options to store that energy. We use a lot of hydro pumps. Most of the places you generally use hydro pumps and so on to store these energies, but not all geographies are actually suitable for hydro pumps. So the second best option comes out to be batteries, right? But still in India and even worldwide, we have to spend some $200 per kilowatt hour of battery storage, which means if you have to create a small backup for a 1 megawatt kind of a wind turbine, you are going to spend more than multiple crores of Indian rupees to just create a backup. So first of all, it's very high capex. Second, its utilization factor is very low. So most of the power utility companies actually different from those kind of actions. So the third option that we generally have is, how about using all the energy storage devices that are lying all across the country and the world idle. Think of it. You have an EV vehicle, you are not going to use it for the next 8 to 10 hours because you are going to be in the office. That's an idle asset. You have a home inverter which you are not going to use for the next 12 hours because you will be outside or you are on a vacation. That's an idle asset. All the bus depots have extra buses which are working as a backup. There is 1 or 2 big EV buses lying in the bus depot. Idle, that's an idle asset. How can we utilize all these things for maybe a utility scale power storage? So the biggest challenge there that we find is it's very difficult to discover because most of these things are fragmented. It's very difficult to trust them. You don't know whether you will get the right quality of energy from them, whether with the right reliability or liabilities or not. And the third is, even if you figure out the trust and discovery issues, you don't know how to transact with them because there is no common infrastructure which can facilitate. If you are looking for a particular set of energy storage, you don't know how to reach them out, how to tell them, okay, what are the commercials, how to kind of communicate with them. So UEI makes that possible for us. Think about a situation where you have all the idle assets lying on one side of the network. On the other hand, there is a Sheru who is basically jumping in saying that, okay, Tata Power, looks like you have a huge need for a energy storage capacity. I can provide you that. I can aggregate all the small fragmented parties. I can take care of the quality, reliability, and the liabilities. Are you willing to pay me a rent for that? Till the point that rent is lesser than what Tata Power can recover from selling that energy unit, he is going for that because otherwise he has to earth it with zero revenue. So that's something that Sheru is trying to do with UEI, trying to aggregate all the fragmented owners to give it to the likes of Sherus. So one is the power utilities can tap into the wide range of storage options. Second is the EV owners. They can, or any asset owner for that matter, can generate revenue from their idle assets, which means your overall cost of ownership goes down. You can do afterlife monetization like Sujit was talking in the morning and so on. The third one that I want to touch upon is the community microgrids. Same construction, same idea, just with different players. On one hand, you have the people in a small community who has a solar power or maybe has a home biogas plant or some other kind of generation device, while there are other people, the shopkeepers, the schools and the education buildings who are looking for such kind of green energies. Can we make a matchmaking between these folks? UEI can do that. So the third one is going to be one that not only creates a self-sustainable supply of energy, self-sustainable communities, it is also going to result into lesser transmission losses because you are talking about 1 kilometer or 5 kilometers rather than 100 and 500 kilometers, and it's also going to push towards higher utilization of renewable resources. Now I know what you guys are thinking, that this looks like a pipe dream, there is a lot of policy barrier, jurisdiction barriers and so on, But let me give you a good news. 3 parties, Pulse Energy, Turno and Sheru, 3 parties from Bangalore, Noida and Mumbai are coming together to give this idea life. And this is happening today at one place of Kormangala, where they are saying that I will enable all these 3 transactions in a cascaded manner in one network. And this is a live prototype. The hardwares are running up, so probably within a week or week and a half's time, you guys will get the news from TIS Summit that, okay, this prototype is live. So the last thing that I want you guys to live with is, we have done, when we talk about the net zeros, the 2050 targets, we will achieve that probably sooner or later. But can we accelerate the journey rather than leaving it to the God's faith? We have done it for payments. I mean, by we, I mean India. India has crammed the 46 years of financial inclusion journey in 9 years, less than a decade. But can we do similar things for other domains, and specifically for energy, because it's a fragmented, native kind of a stage? I think there is a huge chance. So that's the thought that I want you guys to live with. You can follow more about Beacon here in the QR code. You can bring out your phone and follow it. Thank you. Cheers.